Alright, how you guys doing today? Alright, getting better. So, I did have a question about, I guess, what to look for when choosing a ukulele. And of course, there's no real answer I can give because everyone kind of has a different preference. Everyone has a different budget. So, I just kind of wanted to talk about my thoughts on different ukuleles, different brands, different price points. And hopefully with this information, if you're looking for a new ukulele, you can make a wiser decision. All right, so let's get to it. Okay, so you're going into a store, you want to buy a ukulele, you see all the ukuleles, and you're like, wow, which one should I buy? Okay, typically, if you're like most customers, a long time ago, maybe for about 3.5 years, I used to actually work in the ukulele at a ukulele retail store. The first year I was an employee, and then after that I opened up my own store for about 2.5 years. So I do have experience in this area, so I think I can be helpful in this topic. Okay, first thing I want to tell you is forget about prices. Okay, the only price you should think about is the most you're willing to spend. Okay, and I'm not saying that's how much you should spend. I'm just saying know generally. So if you say like 200, okay, check out everything from $80 to 200. Or $100 to 200, okay? Even the $120 ones, the $90 ones, you should check it out, okay? And I'll continue those. So, the thing about prices is that the price of the ukulele, the way that they put a price on the ukulele has to do with the material, okay? Like what kind of wood are they using? Is it solid wood? Is it laminate? Is it handmade or mass produced? Where is it made? Okay, and to be honest, everything that I just mentioned, as an ukulele player, I really don't care about these things. Okay? I don't care if it's solid wood or laminate wood. I don't care if there's inlays and and binding and whatever it is. I don't care about all those things, but that's what goes into the price. That's how they price the ukulele. And the things that I do care about is the feeling of the playability. How do the strings feel? How does the neck feel? How's the frets? Are they polished? Okay. How's the action? Not just over here, but all the way through, even on the high end. Oh. Okay. So it is really strange to me how the ukulele is, how the business side works, basically they put a price on it and, a lot of times they don't play it because they're not players, but so it's just the wood, put it together, it's the wood, okay, what is solid mahogany, what, long neck, okay, oh, what, we got binding, right, okay, this is the cost, this is how much it costs. But what about playability? Okay, so you're never going to pay more or less for playability. Playability is not even considered in the price. Okay, so it's kind of strange to me. A good analogy would be, are related to food. Let's say you want to eat steak. So you think, oh, which steakhouse should I go to today? Or which restaurant should I go and have steak? There's a top of the line steakhouse that their premium cut is like $200, but it's like the premium quality, and it's like, why is this at $200? Oh, because we raise the cows ourselves and we age the beef for this many years or whatever it is, right? So they have their reasons. There's a reason why this steak costs $200. And I'm not saying it's not worth $200, but all the work, I'm sure the quality is very high, okay? But what are we gonna do with this steak? After we order it and buy it, what are we gonna do with it? We're gonna eat it. So we would actually care more about how it's seasoned and how it's cooked, because we're gonna eat it, right? You can take this premium quality beef, but if it's not seasoned the way you like it, and it's not cooked the way you like it, you're not gonna like it. You're not gonna enjoy it, okay? So, even for me, maybe you might go to a steakhouse where it's $50. Maybe it wasn't aged as long, the quality of the steak, the beef is not that great, but it's seasoned the way you like it, and it's cooked the way you like it. You're gonna try it, you're gonna say, oh, this is the best steak I ever had, okay? So my point is how it's strange, because even in the food industry, you know, we're gonna eat it. So we care about the way it's cooked and we care about the way it's seasoned, but we're not paying for that. We're actually just paying for the quality of beef, right? Which actually comes second to us. Okay, so I think the ukulele is kind of the same thing. It doesn't quite make sense to me, but same thing, we're paying for the quality of the wood, okay, and then they put a price on it. So that's why I strongly disagree with the more expensive it is, the better it is, okay? But I do agree with the more expensive it is, I'm pretty sure all the material just was more expensive too, okay? Ukuleles are pretty competitive, you know, so I think the prices reflect pretty consistently upon the material, okay? Or handmade versus mass-produced and all that. So now let's talk about the playability, because, and this is important because this is what you're gonna have to test on your own, okay? So first of all, the most important thing to me would be the action, okay? The action refers to how far the string is to the frets. Okay, the frets are the things going up and down like this. So if you look at your ukulele, you'll notice that the strings are very close to the frets, but you can still see a little bit of space, okay? Now, when the strings are really close to the frets, it makes it easy for your left hand to hold down the strings, okay? If the string is far away, it's going to be difficult to press. You're gonna have to squeeze a lot harder just to play a single note, okay? And if all the strings, if all the action is high on all the strings, a chord will be very difficult to hold, okay? But what happens if the action is too low? If the action is too low, the strings will touch the frets, and then when you pick, you're gonna get a buzzing sound like this. So you don't want that either. So the object is to get your action as low as possible without buzzing. Okay? And this part, you're gonna have to try to experiment, and you're gonna have to try out the ukuleles and test it for yourself. And I'll tell you why, because ukuleles that are mass produced, they don't wanna try to make it as low as possible, because they want to leave a little bit room for error. If they try to make it as low as possible without buzzing, maybe half of them will be perfect and the other half might actually be too low, and then you'll get a buzzing issue. And the problem with buzzes is that most stores or customers, when they find a buzz and they realize it's the ukulele, they'll return it, okay? But a lot of beginners that buy ukuleles don't understand what action is. So if the action is a little high, they don't know the difference. So it's just safer for them to make the action a little higher, because as long as it doesn't buzz, it won't get returned, okay? So just kind of know that, and it makes sense, right? I mean, you know, it's mass produced, so, you know, they can't make each one perfect. It's hard to be really consistent when you're mass producing products, okay? Now, there's another trick that some people do too, some companies. I don't know if they do this on purpose or not, but to me, sometimes I see this. I've seen this a few times at companies. I just thought It's crazy, but what they do is, okay, this white part right here is called your saddle, okay? Now if you notice, the strings rest on the saddle here, and they rest on the nut here, okay? The nut is pretty consistent, okay? So what I mean by consistent is the string is always gonna be pretty close to the strings, I mean pretty close to the fret by the nut, okay? But what they do is, the same problem is they don't want to make it too low because they don't want it to buzz. So what they do is they raise the saddle a little bit, just raise it a hair. So what happens is the action is kind of high on this side of the ukulele, but as it gets closer to the nut, it starts to get a little lower and lower and lower. And if you're a beginner and then you try to play the ukulele and you know a few chords, you're going to say, oh, this feels good. It's on two. No, it feels good, but okay, so he goes, oh, it feels good. But actually, what you don't realize is as you work your way on the higher end of the ukulele, the action is actually getting a little higher. So now if you try to use chords up here, you're gonna say, wow, why is it so hard to hold a chord over here on this side of the ukulele? And that's because the action is actually higher on this end, okay? So I would suggest, even if you don't know any chords on this side, you don't need to know what you're doing to test the action. If you're on this side of the ukulele, and then you say, oh, this feels good, you like the action, it's low enough, and it's not buzzing, then what you can do is just pick two notes on each string, and then just come up here and just try the same thing. If you feel like you have to squeeze harder on this side just to get a good sound, that means the action is raised. So this ukulele, actually Jake does all his saddles and stuff like that, so it's pretty consistent, and just by looking, it's pretty consistent all the way from this side to this side. Okay, so as I come up here, I don't have to squeeze any harder. Okay, so that's important. That's what action is. Okay, so you want to really check that and make sure you're happy, because you don't want to be stuck with an ukulele where the action is really high and you got to squeeze really hard just to hold like a G7 chord or a C chord, and you don't want it too low where everything is buzzing. Okay, so that's the action. And then the other part, there's some other things that I look for, like the sustain of a note, the dynamics, you know, how soft can I play and how loud can I play, and how the ukulele handles everything in between. I think that's a little bit more advanced though. So I'm just gonna stick to two really basic things, which is like the action, and the other one is the tone, the sound that you want from the ukulele. That's really, really important, okay? Myself, I like the warmer tone. I probably got that from Jake, because Jake was always a fan of the warmer sound, okay? Not saying that's better. All I'm saying is that that's what we prefer, okay? So, the way I would suggest trying to hear the different sounds is when you have your ukuleles out, you have maybe 4 over here, you check the action, you go, oh, this one's kind of high, okay, put that one back. Okay, now you're down to 3 ukuleles. It's all in your price range. You like the feel on all 3 of them, and now you just want to know which sound you like. Okay, I would suggest asking a salesperson, you know, call them over to have them play for you. And, you know, just let them know that, you know, you're interested in these 3 ukuleles, but you want to hear them. So most likely the sales guy will pick up a ukulele and he'll start playing something. Okay, so whatever he plays, just, you know, be nice. Just, oh, it's good. But let him know, oh, you know, but actually I'm just a beginner. So would you mind just holding a C chord? And I just want to hear what a nice C chord would sound like on this ukulele. And just have him do it 3 times. 1, 2, 3. Okay? And the thing is, you don't want the salesperson to do anything fancy because you don't know how he's playing. Maybe, I mean, he could play something like, I should use a better chord. But I'm strumming over here with my fingers closed. Okay, and this is the sound that I get, even with a C chord. Okay, so it doesn't sound good, but I'm not actually giving you the natural sound. The way to give you the natural sound is for me to actually hold the C chord, or any chord, but just tell them C chord, use your thumb and just go straight down. Okay, and then you hear it, okay, take a look, can you do the same thing with this one? Okay, put it down, and he's gonna play same thing. And you should be able to hear a difference. Oh, which one is warmer, which one is brighter, and you're gonna say, oh, I like this one better. Okay, so take that, put it on the side. Give him the third one. Can you try that one? The same thing. You're gonna say, oh, I don't know. Can you try this one again? That's it. You just have them do the same thing, and then you choose the sound that you like. Okay, but yeah, don't let them. Don't have them play like a different song on each ukulele, and then you're gonna decide which one sounds better. Just get the natural sound. Okay? And then after that, you should have a ukulele in your price range, and you're happy with the action, and you love the sound that you're getting. Okay? And then to me, that would be really what to look for. Okay? So you want to do it that way, and I think that's great. They might try to tell you, I don't know, to upgrade to maybe this ukulele or that ukulele. And now you kind of understand, as far as the ukulele being more expensive, you know why it's more expensive, right? Maybe the quality of wood is better, and all these things. But I don't think that should be important to a player, especially if you're just beginning, and especially if your budget is around $200, okay? The most important thing is if you can find a ukulele where it sounds good to you and feels good to you, that's the one you should buy. That's more important than anything else, okay? Laminate wood versus solid wood doesn't matter. Solid wood doesn't always sound better. Laminate wood doesn't always sound better. It's 50-50, I think. Okay, so I hope this helps. If there's any questions, or if you have any other topics or comments or something, maybe I missed something. To be honest, this is like my 4th or 5th time doing this take, because the first time I did it, I just started talking and I checked the thing. When I was done, it was like 45 minutes. I was like, oh my God, how did I go on and on so long? All these little topics. I did again. Then it was like 27 minutes. And then I thought, I can do it shorter. So the third time I did it, I completely forgot that I was trying to keep it short. I went to like 38 minutes. So, you know what? If I don't stop now, this is going to be another long video. So, just to recap, I'm just kidding. You guys got it, right? You guys got the point? I'm going to end this so I don't have to do it again. Hopefully, I'm going to guess this video will be around 18 minutes. So, all right. Hope you guys enjoyed this. Please enjoy the rest of your day, and I'll see you guys later. All right.